Dancing here on my own. My friends lost me, I need to go home. One drink in my hand.
Hello and welcome back to the Murray Miles 4 Mobilised podcast. My name is Greg Pinder. This is John Overeem. And, John, this is our fourth crack in the studio now. This is still episode 2. Few technical issues on the last time round.
Absolutely. Not our fault. I like to think it's not our fault. It probably was. I like to think it wasn't our fault, though. But Larry, the tech guy at Snowy's, agrees with us. Says, no, their end. But, yeah, anyway, we move on.
Jono, what we probably haven't touched on enough yet is actually what we're doing and who we're doing it for.
We did sort of skip over that in episode 1. We got a little bit excited and just moved things on a little bit quickly, I think. But what we're doing essentially is kayaking the entire Murray. So from Brigambong Bridge in New South Wales all the way down to the mouth in Goolwa. And the record that was set in 1979 by Ian and Michael, who we spoke to last episode, they started downstream a bit. Our plan is to start further back and then overtake them in a shorter amount of time that they paddled the river in.
Jono, we just mentioned Mobilise. Do you want to touch on them a little bit further?
Yeah, absolutely. So how we come to choose Mobilise, I think, is a really important one. Of the fact that it was just a bit of fortunate timing for us. I think we were sitting in your lounge room. Sorry. Talking about different charities and whatnot. We had already spoken to another one as well that was pretty interested, but we just kept unintentionally talking about Ned. It was in the middle of his 1,000-mile run. We just kept talking about that, which then obviously spread to talking about Mobilise. And then while we just kept getting distracted by that, Greg stopped me talking. He was like, let's just lean into it. Like, let's just...
Johnny, do you want to explain a little bit about what We Are Mobilise does do?
Yeah, they're a homelessness charity. In this, again, I don't know if they're going to like the way I put it. I see Mobilise as they help people out who need it, sort of thing. So yeah, homelessness is obviously a big major part of it. But if you look on their socials, they do a lot of things of people that are about to get kicked out of their rentals, or single mums that just need that extra bit of support to keep a roof over their head for a little bit longer, that sort of stuff. Car payments, that sort of thing. They really, while helping out the people who are homeless, they do help out those that are about to be, to make sure they're not as well, which I think is really important, and getting on the front foot before we are adding to the tally of people who are out in the street. Roo and Dan. So they are adventurous guys, and the reason why we've brought them on today, they have the fastest known time of doing the Heysen Trail in South Australia, a 1,200 kilometre long track. They did it in 12 days. Let's welcome in Roo and Dan.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Thanks.
Thanks for the
Cheers,
invite.
guys. Yeah.
Guys, thanks so much for joining us here today. We're rapt to have you on. How did you come up with the idea to take on a challenge like this?
I was thinking about the record anyway, and at the time we hadn't met.
No.
Yeah. So I was thinking about the record, and the record at the time was the guy that had done it solo. So I'd been planning to do it solo, and then Simon was thinking about it as well at the time, separately, and then we got chatting about it and kind of met you through that, and also Marcus. So that's sort of how it came about. Yeah.
So what does the day look like? How do you plan that?
What was our longest day? I think we did like 21 hours.
Yeah.
It was about our longest. So it ended up blowing out way more than we'd expected.
But it was like one of those things where, breaking up those achievable chunks where it was like trying to, I suppose, keep your body into a normal rhythm of like breakfast, lunch, dinner. And in that time frame, for me anyway, having a rough idea of how many kilometres we'd clock up between breakfast and lunch, because we'd always start at sort of 6:05 a.m. in the morning. And then all just move at our own pace, and then eventually see each other the next morning. So we just chose our own journey along there, and if we could spend a bit of time together out the trail, it was fantastic, and if not, all good as well. So it was a great combination on that.
So where did you have to get to mentally to push that hard for that long?
When things are getting hard, I look back at other times when I've pushed through. So I guess the more I do things, the more I know that I can do things. A big part of it, the amount that I'd sacrificed to be there for the Heysen, I'd quit my job for about 2 months beforehand, was training every day. So there was a lot of time and effort involved, and to suddenly just quit then after all the work I'd put in, I think as well, just the support crews that we had and the amount of time, it was about 6 to 12 months of logistical planning. I didn't want to let other people down as well.
Definitely.
So I think there's a lot of kind of elements there that really just helped me push through.
Any of these journeys are far beyond just one runner or 4 runners. It takes a village to get that team across the line. And so, reflecting on how lucky you are to, have a solid beating heart and your body is able to do those things, you feel super grateful out there. And trusting also the fact that once your body moves, whether it's 10 minutes, whether it's 2 hours, whether it's 5 hours, it generally warms up.
A man named Randall Taylor, who unfortunately is no longer with us, a pretty big part of the inspiration for you guys to take this on.
When he passed away, he, I believe his kids and had autism.
Yeah, he's
and then, and so he would do a lot of fundraising, a lot of events to support autism and young people with autism. And that's where we came up with a way to celebrate his life by raising money for autism camps, which he was a part of. And he would be super stoked and excited to see us go on this grand adventure. He loved adventures. Yeah, so that was super, super special.
Some really nice stuff that you're doing with your adventure company. Would you like to touch on that a little bit?
I spent the last 20 years running adventure therapy programs for disengaged youth, and helped create a farm, like a rehab farm for young people struggling with addiction and mental health, which is based around adventure and being outside, doing things that are challenging outdoors with other people to learn about yourself and create a new narrative of what is possible in your brain. And for a lot of these young people, their self-worth and their self-belief is fairly shattered. So to be able to help them create a new narrative of what's possible via, upside down a mine shaft where visually it looks like the world's most challenging thing and super dangerous. And yet the things that they've faced in their lives are far more challenging, but this one looks more challenging. So therefore, when they see themselves tackle that and work their way through those emotions, you can unpack that afterwards. And the richness of those experiences is in the unpacking of that experience.
I think this interview that we've been really looking forward to. Look, thank you. Thanks for being here. You currently got us mapped out for a 177-kilometre day on day one.
Dude, I'm thinking adrenaline. Let's just go.
Gee, I hope the Murray's moving at that end of town.
The water really flows at the bottom of the hill. At the bottom of the hill, at Mount Kosciuszko.
The big hill.
Yeah.
Thanks very much to Snowy's Outdoors, South Australian-based outdoor company. They've been really generous and letting us use their podcast studio. They've kicked in some money as well, and they're helping us out with a bit of gear. So, really appreciate their support. Snowy's Outdoors, thanks very much.
Go and take a look at Mobilise socials as well. It's a good place to start to see what they're all about, see what they're doing. They're very active on the socials, so good to see what they're doing while you're on Instagram as well. Might as well just jump over to Murray Miles for Mobilise. Give us a follow, and appreciate all the support.
Fantastic. All right, thanks very much for tuning in, and do next time.
I'm picking up